welcome you to this brief press conference, and we'll be talking about coffee, the rationalization of UCDA. We have had some time off to move to our constituencies over this weekend, and we interacted with our people. We interacted with the farmers, interacted with traders, the business community, some cooperatives, and so we want to give our position on UCDA rationalization. One, we are against the rationalization of UCDA as Western Ugandan MPs because an impression has been created that we are compliant, that we don't mind about coffee. Actually, if you look at the figures of coffee in this country, number one is Uganda, and number two is Western Uganda in coffee. So there is a lot of coffee in Western Uganda, and so we have serious interest in this national crop called coffee. Number two, we are concerned that if government insists on rationalization of UCDA, we are going to lose the regulation role that it has been playing. We are going to lose the quality maintenance that it had reached as we talk now. We are going to lose the expertise, but also above all, the market promotion. And so we have the regulation risk, the quality risk, the market risk, but also the expertise risk once UCDA is gone. And we would want to ask government, who are we legislating for? If the farmers have said no, the traders said no, the cooperatives have said no, why are they insisting? Who are they legislating for? Because we are supposed to legislate for farmers, for traders. So, if you go to any part of this country, whether it is Western, Central, Northern, Eastern, everybody is saying, don't touch our coffee. So, why is the president insisting? We want them to parade any farmer in this country who says we are okay with rationalizing UCDA. Just one. All farmers are against it. All traders are against it. You know, when we lost the coffee marketing board, the price went down up to 200 shillings. Ugandans have now been recovering. Coffee is now at 13,000 a kilo. We are at our best. UCDA has given us 82 billion shillings. And yet we had invested only 42 billion. 44 billion. So if you are talking about saving cost, then UCDA is making money. If you are talking about duplication, there is no duplication. If Museveni wants to tell us about duplication, let him first deal with his cabinet. You have a minister for foreign affairs, a minister for regional affairs, you have East African affairs. All these are foreign affairs. And you also have international affairs. Isn't that duplication? So let him start with his own house and wash it first. Let him first combine those ministries so that we know we have only one minister in charge of foreign affairs. Then you can deal with regional, you can East Africa, Africa, and the international world. So for us, we believe that there is something hidden. We in the West are now suffering the costs of tea. people had started uprooting tea to plant coffee. Now, you have killed the tea, you are now coming for coffee. It is deliberate because they believe that the poor are easily governed. Once you're poor, they can govern you well. But that the rich are very difficult to govern. So they want all of us poor. It is deliberate. And then he will be coming to give out handouts. Handouts of Bonabagagaware, of parish development model. So that he's the only person who gives out money. Parish development model, you hear they say it is Museveni has given us. But Ugandans are hardworking.
As members of parliament, representing people from Western Uganda. On board, we have members of opposition, we have members of NRM, and we are having a common voice because we are fighting for our farmers. Whether a farmer is an FDC farmer, NRM, or UPC. And the reasons why we are here, we've just come to assure Ugandans, including the President Museveni, who is so greedy, that this time we are not going to accept and sit. Ugandans who are watching us, when President Museveni invited us in caucus as NRM, I was very happy that among the people who were given an opportunity to ask him, Mbwa, the dog barked. And this is the message I told the president. He stood up and said he's going to crush UCDA. And I told him, you know, he likes to use Banyankore proverbs. And I told him the same. I said, Your Excellency, in Banyankore we have a proverb that akuchizire naita sho ahungura nyoko omweta sho. Whoever is older than you can kill your dad, marries your mom, and you still call that person your dad. I said, you're going to crush UCDA, you want to kill us. You want to kill our economy. We shall still respect you as the fountain of honor, the chief of defense forces, but that pain will never go away from our heart. He listened to that. So I've come to assure Ugandans that this time we must extend this war of verbal artilleries if we are to win it. As my colleague has alluded, we must go on ground, mobilize these farmers, not to vote even this NRM of mine that is rotting. Which interest does he have in this? Whose interest are they legislating for? Whose will? Who has requested him that coffee farmers are suffering, that they need rescue? I asked even a question. You know, crying more than they believed. You know, I normally train people how to cry. Yes, and if you have a party, you can invite me, a funeral, and I show you. In our culture, if you've lost your dear one, and for you you've come as to just say sympathy for the family, you shouldn't cry more than the bereaved family. As they are heightening their voice, for you, you lower a little bit. But if yours comes up so much, they get to know that this one is the one who has killed him or her. This is what is happening. For us in Western Uganda, we came and told the president, the prices of tea, we need some rescue. We needed bailout. For us who needed bailout, we've not gotten any bailout. The coffee industry, where we are doing extremely well and we don't need any government intervention, it's where he's showing interest. What a greedy man. No, we cannot accept. I uprooted tea, my 20 acres, I've planted coffee. Now, the same man who has made me to lose money in tea, he's following me up.
In the coffee.
In the coffee. We need to tell Ugandans facts. Let me tell you what you didn't know. In this government of ours, if you came up with a theory and you told my government that, you see, there is a lot of gold in cow dung, the following day, the whole family, the one you know, it will come up, it will put an embargo that nobody should even sell cow dung, even if it is your cow. They will even compel you to look for baskets to make sure that you can tap cow dung because they think it is very lucrative. That's how greedy Mr. Museveni and his team has gone. He killed our cooperatives. Banyankole Kwete and a cooperative. If you think in Western Uganda we don't have coffee, we had Banyankole Kwete and a cooperative. When they came to power, they told Ugandans cooperatives are useless. They killed Honorable Gisu. That was wise, survived. Now they are saying they want to revamp cooperatives after killing, selling, eating, and our people are so poor. We are not going to sing the song, Mr. President, we are happy, all the same, we are happy, we are so poor, but all the same, we are happy. No, we're not going to sing that song for you. We cannot be unhappy and sing for you the song that we are happy to appease you. Enough is enough. What you've plundered in this country, I think it is enough to cater for you. Leave our coffee. We don't need your intervention. Please accept the little that you are having.
Majority members of on the committee of agriculture just saw the fear that they cannot come out and stand against their party position because it was very clear in the committee that they have to abide by the party position, by the cabinet position, and that is to take UCDA the way it is. Members of the public should also know that most of the stakeholders who appeared before the committee and representing the 12.5 million Ugandans all said no to taking back UCDA into the mother ministry. And among the stakeholders who appeared before the committee was the Buganda Parliamentary Caucus. We had stakeholders from Buganda Kingdom. We had stakeholders from Bunyoro, those were the Coffee Growers Association, Bunyoro. We had the farmers from Kanungu, Masaka Coffee Growers, West Nile, Northern Uganda. We had the Bugisu Cooperative Union, but also Bugisu Parliamentary Caucus. We also had a number of stakeholders, individual. All these ones, they were a representative of the 12.5 million Ugandans. They overwhelmingly said no. So what I expected from the main report of the committee was to respect the views of the stakeholders who appeared before the committee to represent the 12.5 million Ugandans. So we, being a people-centered parliament, Uganda parliament, we did not report exactly what the views of these 12.5 million people, farmers, coffee farmers, spoke. And this is against the will of Ugandans. Being a people-centered parliament, but also reporting otherwise. So the report that the committee came up with was just a table report. It was not a reflection of the views that the majority, 12.5 million Ugandans, did speak. I also want to call upon the public to join your members of parliament in demanding the rejection of the UCDA rejection. Someone asked that you people, why Bunyoro you don't plant coffee? Bunyoro you don't plant coffee. For us, we have been, initially we used to plant cotton. When the government started underfunding it, people gave up with cotton. We went to tobacco farming. Our farmers have been cheated every other day. We were fishermen. On the lake now, we can no longer fish. We can no longer fish. The military has taken over all the lakes. But all this under the Ministry of Agriculture's supervision. The Ministry of Agriculture should know that they have failed to perform their work efficiently and effectively. As we speak today, just early this year, we saw the Ministry of Agriculture giving out tractors without plows, others without the engines, and others without handlers. These working tractors that they gave out never had handlers. We have seen the Ministry of Agriculture fail to manage the fisheries sector. They have given it out to the army. They have given it up to the UPDF to take over the lakes. We as Parliament, we did make a resolution here for the ministry to go and come up with the Aquaculture and Fisheries Act regulation. Up to now, they have failed to come up with a regulation. we did recommend they come up with the tea policy. The Minister of Agriculture up to now, we have very many petitions in Parliament of farmers, of tea, tobacco. Western alone has over 5,000 farmers who are cheated by Nima Tobacco, by Continental Company, and all this is under the ministry, being under the Ministry of Agriculture. Today, our maize, our rice, cannot cross the borders of Kenya, cannot cross the borders of Tanzania. Our chicken, it cannot cross all those borders of our neighboring countries where we are talking about common market, we are in the East African integration. And under the supervision of Ministry of Agriculture, they are very silent. Just last year, we saw our maize, the kawunga, being poured when it was crossing over the borders of South Sudan. They were saying it is full of aflatoxins. And the Minister of Agriculture is all seated, very comfortable, seeing farmers suffering, seeing traders suffering. They cannot stand out and speak for themselves. Today, the rice of Tanzania, in Hoima, it can reach up to the stores of a local businessman, door to door selling. Even the rice of Tanzania is cheaper than ours here. So our farmers have decided to lower the prices of theirs so that the one of Tanzania doesn't outcompete them. Being that ineffective, then again you call a ministry, an agency like this, Uganda Coffee Development Authority, to also come, you kill it. Members, what we should know is the main objective of this bill here is the Uganda Coffee Development Authority Bill 2024 is to kill, to remove, to abolish, to scrap off UCDA. And of course, when you kill someone, you cannot say that you are transferring the roles of the dead body to the what? To the mother ministry. You cannot transfer the roles of the dead body to the mother ministry. For instance, if I'm a member of parliament today and I died, my child who inherits me cannot do my work. So that's why we are heading. We are seeing UCDA going to be killed, and totally they bury it just because for them they are just looking at saving costs. They are looking about ineffectiveness, but yet themselves they have failed.
On the issue raised by a lady there, which was to do with the fear, is it especially among those MPs who are for rationalization? You remember that point? Fear that maybe they will lose their seats, something like that. That's a very pertinent issue, but I would like to say that for me, I would rather that people start thinking using their heads other than thinking using their stomachs. It is very, very important because, let me give you an example. I was not in the parliament. It was in the 10th parliament. Honorable Mujuke was there, and Honorable Mbwa. And we had a major event in the 10th parliament, which was the Tojikwatako. There are very many MPs from the movement party who against the wishes of their voters, decided to do what? To Tojikwatako. And I'm telling you, you are members of the media, you are members of the press, you know what the casualty rate was among this group.
Including Nankabirwa,
you see?
Who used to tell them they are going to help us if we touch.
If we touch. The rate of the casualty rate was so high. So, we have a saying in Bunyoro that if those who have ears, let them hear. Those who don't have, it is up to them. But it is wiser to do the right thing, other than to do the wrong thing, simply because you are fearing for the outcome. That's what I would like to comment on that.
Lastly, I want to caution all the MPs. The time we were crying for tea crisis, only a few MPs from tea growing area spoke and supported the cause. Now I'll tell you, there was this man who was called Martin Moeller in Germany, when there was, you remember the Nazism regime. He said that when they came for communists, I kept silent because I was not a communist. When they came for trade unionists, I couldn't speak because I was not a trade unionist. But when they came for me, nobody spoke because I was only left alone. You remember Hitler had killed every person, but whenever he was killing, this Pastor Martin could keep quiet. But when they came for him to be killed, nobody spoke for him, and he also died. The same applies to us as MPs. If the matter is touching Karamoja, that they are plundering gold of Karamoja, and a member brings the point, even if you are not from Karamoja, let us fight for Ugandans. So now you can see, tea first, few people came to support us. Now they are coming for coffee. Many people are coming on board, but for us we are saying still we are there. And some people are silent because they know they've not planted coffee. The only industry that won't be touched, I assure you Ugandans, it is the animal industry. It won't be touched because the president, the fountain of honor, that is his interest. Have you ever known the reasons why people selling milk, they don't pay taxes? Here in the village, do you know that a person getting matoke from my village, from your plantation, before you pass any trading center, you pay tax? Have you ever seen someone putting a can or a jerrycan of milk, paying that tax? Have you ever known, your journalists go and probe, that every car that ferries milk, the coolers, they have the red and white number plates, they are exempted from tax. What about for us who buy fusos to carry our coffee and matoke? Do we get tax exemptions? Open up your eyes. The country has rotten, and Mr. President, accept us and we take up the mantle as NRM members. You cannot manage anymore.
We are here together with my colleagues to speak on behalf of our people in Western Uganda, the farmers, and also to declare that we will be going next week, we will be going to the field again. We shall have a big meeting in Ankore, we shall have another meeting in Chigezi, we shall have another meeting in Rwenzori, we shall have a meeting in Bunyoro, for the farmers to speak out. In Toro also we shall be there, so the farmers speak out. Because the representatives of the farmers who came to the committee, all of them said no. But their no has not been listened to. So let us mobilize the farmers to speak out. So they tell Museveni that you are not legislating for us. What you're bringing is your own idea. Thank you very much.